Hey Capricorn, so I just sat down with the cards to see what 2026 has in store for you, and honestly, the energy coming through is something I need to share right away because this year is not going to be what you expect. I know you have been through some really heavy stuff, like the kind of experiences that change you at a cellular level. And if you are watching this, there is a reason. The cards are showing me that 2026 is your year of awakening and rebirth, but not in that fluffy spiritual way people talk about on social media. This is the real deal, the kind of transformation that happens when you have been broken down to your foundation and you are finally ready to build something completely new. I pulled cards specifically asking about your journey this year, about the wounds you carry and how they are going to become your superpower, and what came through honestly gave me chills. This reading is for Capricorns who have felt invisible in their pain, who have carried burdens nobody else could see, who have wondered if things would ever actually get better. The universe has been watching, and 2026 is when everything shifts. So grab a cup of tea or whatever you need, because we are going deep into what the cosmos has planned for your healing and transformation this year. The first card that came out is the King of Cups, and Capricorn. This card appearing right at the start of your 2026 reading is incredibly significant because it represents mastery over emotions. And I know that might sound ironic for an earth sign like you who is known for being practical and grounded. But here is what the universe is telling you. All those years when you pushed your feelings aside to get things done, when you were the strong one everyone leaned on, when you held it together, even when you were falling apart inside, all of that has been building towards something. The King of Cups is not about being emotionally reactive or wearing your heart on your sleeve. He is about having been through the depths of emotional experience and coming out the other side with wisdom, compassion, and the ability to hold space for deep feelings without being overwhelmed by them. This year, you are stepping into this energy. What I am seeing here is that your emotional wounds, the ones you maybe thought made you weak or broken, are actually going to become the source of your greatest strength and influence. You know how some people go through hard times and become bitter, while others go through hard times and become beacons of hope and understanding. You are becoming the latter. The King of Cups sits on his throne in the middle of turbulent waters, completely calm, completely in control. Not because the waters are not chaotic, but because he has learned to navigate them. That is you in 2026. You are going to find yourself in situations where your past pain becomes the exact experience you need to help others, to make wise decisions, to lead with both your head and your heart in a way that feels completely authentic. People are going to start coming to you for guidance, not because you have all the answers, but because you have been through the fire and you carry that wisdom in a way that feels safe and grounding to others. I am also seeing that this card is telling you to stop compartmentalizing your emotions the way you have been doing. Capricorn, you have this tendency to put your feelings in a box and deal with them later. Except later never really comes, does it? This year is about integrating everything you have been through, letting yourself actually feel it, process it, and use it as fuel for your evolution. The King of Cups is emotionally intelligent, which means he knows that feelings are information, not obstacles. Your sensitivity, which you might have seen as a liability, is actually your superpower. Trust that. Now the Queen of Pentacles shows up, and this is where things get really interesting, because she represents abundance, nurturing, and practical magic all rolled into one. Capricorn, you have been in survival mode for so long that you might have forgotten what it feels like to actually thrive. The Queen of Pentacles is here to remind you that you are not just meant to survive, you are meant to flourish. What I love about this card in your reading is that it shows the healing process is not just going to be emotional or spiritual. It is going to be tangible and material too. This year, you are going to start seeing real physical evidence that your life is changing for the better. Maybe it is financial stability finally clicking into place. Maybe it is your living situation improving. Maybe it is your physical health getting stronger. Or maybe it is all of the above. The Queen of Pentacles has this earthy, grounded energy that says you can be spiritual and practical at the same time. You can heal your inner wounds while also building a beautiful outer life. She sits in a garden that she has cultivated with her own hands, surrounded by abundance that she created through patience, wisdom, and consistent effort. That garden is your life in 2026. You have been planting seeds even when you could not see anything growing, even when it felt pointless, even when you were exhausted. Those seeds are about to bloom. I am also getting that this card is about learning to nurture yourself the way you nurture everyone else. You are so good at taking care of other people, at making sure everyone around you is okay. But when was the last time you actually put yourself first without feeling guilty about it? The Queen of Pentacles is giving you permission to invest in yourself, to spend money on things that make you feel good, to take time off without justifying it, to create a life that feels abundant and comfortable and safe. You deserve softness, Capricorn. You deserve ease. And this year, you are going to start believing that and acting like it. There is also something here about your relationship with money and resources shifting in a major way. If you have been in a scarcity mindset, that is dissolving. If you have been undervaluing yourself or your work, that is ending. The Queen of Pentacles knows her worth, and she does not apologize for it. Neither should you. The Three of Pentacles comes in next, and okay, this card is all about collaboration, skill building, and being recognized for your talents. What I am seeing here is that 2026 is going to present you with opportunities to work with people who actually appreciate what you bring to the table. If you have been in situations where you felt undervalued or like you were carrying all the weight while others took the credit, that energy is shifting dramatically. The Three of Pentacles shows a scene where three people are working together on a cathedral, each bringing their unique skills, each being valued for their contribution. This is about being part of something bigger than yourself, where your efforts are seen and celebrated. I am getting that you might be stepping into a new role at work, starting a creative project with collaborators who respect you, or finally finding your tribe of people who get what you are trying to do in the world. This card is also about mastery and apprenticeship at the same time. You are going to be learning new skills this year, maybe going back to school or taking courses or finding mentors who can help you level up in areas where you want to grow. But simultaneously, you are also going to be teaching and mentoring others, sharing the wisdom you have gained through your experiences. There is this beautiful reciprocal energy here where you are both student and teacher. What I really want you to understand about this card is that your wounds have given you expertise that others need. You are not damaged goods, Capricorn. You are a skilled craftsperson who has learned through trial and error, through pain and resilience. And now you have something valuable to offer. The Three of Pentacles is also about laying foundations for long-term success. The work you do this year might not pay off immediately, but it is building towards something solid and lasting. Think of it like you are constructing your own cathedral, brick by brick, and each collaboration, each skill you develop, each project you pour yourself into is another piece of the structure. By the end of 2026, you are going to look back and be amazed at what you built. Here comes the Magician and Capricorn. This card is pure manifestation energy, and it is showing up in your reading to remind you that you have everything you need to create the life you want. Look at the Magician in the traditional imagery. He stands at a table with all four suit symbols in front of him, representing all the tools and resources available in the universe, and he has one hand pointing up to the heavens and one pointing down to the earth, channeling cosmic energy into material reality. That is what you are capable of this year. You are the bridge between the spiritual and the physical, between the dream and the reality, between the wound and the healing. What I love about the Magician appearing in a reading about awakening and rebirth is that he represents conscious creation. You are not a victim of your circumstances anymore. You are not at the mercy of what life throws at you. You have agency. You have power. You have the ability to take the raw materials of your life, including all the painful stuff, and transform them into something meaningful and beautiful. The Magician is also about skill, focus, and using your willpower to direct energy where you want it to go. This year, you need to get really clear about what you actually want, not what other people expect from you, not what you think you should want, but what genuinely lights you up and makes you feel alive. Once you have that clarity, the Magician says you have the power to make it happen. I am also seeing that this card is about communication and using your voice in a new way. Maybe you have been staying quiet about things that matter to you. Maybe you have been dimming your light to make others comfortable. Maybe you have been hiding your magic because you were afraid of being too much. That ends now. The Magician does not hide his abilities. He stands right there in the open and says, "This is who I am. This is what I can do." You are being called to step into that same boldness. Your story, your experiences, your unique perspective on life, these are your tools. And when you start sharing them authentically, you are going to be amazed at what happens. Doors will open, opportunities will appear, the right people will show up. The universe responds to decisive action and clear intention, and that is exactly what the Magician brings. Temperance shows up next, and this card is fascinating in the context of your healing journey because it is all about balance, patience, and alchemy. Temperance features an angel standing with one foot on land and one foot in water, pouring liquid between two cups in this seemingly impossible way that defies gravity. What is being shown to you here is that healing is not linear, and it is not about extremes. You do not heal by going from completely broken to completely fixed overnight. You heal through gradual integration, through finding the middle path, through learning to blend all the different parts of yourself into a cohesive whole. Capricorn, you have spent so much of your life in all or nothing mode. You are either working yourself to death or you are completely burned out. You are either completely closed off emotionally or you are overwhelmed by feelings. You are either in total control or everything is chaos. Temperance is here to show you there is another way. This year is about finding sustainable rhythms, about learning moderation, about discovering that you can be both strong and vulnerable, both ambitious and relaxed, both independent and connected to others. The alchemy aspect of this card is also really important. In medieval alchemy, practitioners believed they could turn lead into gold through a process of purification and transformation. Your pain is the lead, and through the slow, patient work of integration and healing, you are transforming it into gold. This does not happen through force or rushing. It happens through trust in the process, through allowing things to unfold in their own time. I am also getting that temperance is specifically addressing any addiction patterns or self-destructive coping mechanisms you might have developed as a result of your trauma. If you have been using substances, overworking, toxic relationships, or any other form of escape to avoid dealing with your pain, this card is a gentle but firm invitation to find healthier ways to cope. The angel in temperance is calm, centered, and completely present. That is the energy you are learning to embody. There is also a message here about forgiveness, both of others and of yourself. You cannot move forward while still carrying resentment and self-blame. Temperance asks you to practice compassion, to understand that everyone, including you, was doing the best they could with the resources and awareness they had at the time. Letting go does not mean what happened was okay. It means you are choosing peace over pain. The Ace of Wands bursts onto the scene, and Capricorn, this is where the rebirth part of your 2026 story really starts to take form. Aces are all about new beginnings, and Wands are the suit of passion, creativity, inspiration, and willpower. This card is a lightning bolt of energy, a cosmic yes, a green light from the universe saying it is time to start something new. What I am seeing is that after all the emotional work, all the healing, all the integration, You are going to feel this surge of creative life force energy that you have not felt in a long time, maybe ever. It is like you have been living in black and white, and suddenly everything is in color. The Ace of Wands represents a new spark, a new passion, a new direction that genuinely excites you. This could manifest in so many ways. Maybe you are starting a business, launching a creative project, beginning a new relationship, moving to a new place, or simply rediscovering a sense of purpose and enthusiasm for life. Whatever it is going to feel fresh and exciting, and a little bit scary in a good way. The Ace of Wands is also about sexual and creative energy being reawakened. If your experiences have left you feeling disconnected from your body, from pleasure, from your own vitality, that is coming back online. You are going to start feeling attractive again, desirable, alive in your skin. You are going to want to create things, to express yourself, to take up space in the world. I also want to mention that this card often indicates travel or a significant change in your physical environment. There is restless energy here that wants to explore, to have adventures, to break out of routines that have become stagnant. Say yes to opportunities that come your way this year, even if they seem a little wild or impractical. The Ace of Wands is not about careful planning. It is about following the spark, trusting your instincts, and letting enthusiasm lead the way. This is your invitation to be spontaneous, to take risks, to bet on yourself. The wounds you have carried have made you cautious, and understandably so. But this year, the universe is asking you to be brave in a new way, to be open to joy and excitement and possibility. You have spent enough time playing it safe. The Ace of Wands is your permission slip to live boldly. The Ten of Pentacles appears, and this card is making me emotional because it represents lasting legacy, family wealth, and generational healing. Capricorn, what you are doing through your own healing journey this year is not just for you. It is breaking cycles that go back generations. The Ten of Pentacles shows an elder sitting with family and dogs under an archway decorated with symbols of the suit. It is a card of completion, of reaping what you have sown, of enjoying the fruits of long-term effort. What I am seeing here is that by the time you reach the later part of 2026, you are going to be in a completely different place, materially, emotionally, and spiritually, than where you started. This is not just about personal success. It is about creating stability and abundance that extends beyond just you, that benefits the people you love, that maybe even impacts your community or the world in some small way. If you have children or plan to, this card indicates that you are breaking cycles of trauma and pain so that they do not have to carry what you carried. If you do not have children, it is still about legacy, about what you leave behind, about the impact you make. The Ten of Pentacles also has a strong message about home and belonging. You are going to create or find a sense of home that feels truly safe and nurturing, whether that is a physical place or a community of people or both. After years of not quite fitting in, of feeling like an outsider, of wondering where you belong, you are going to find your place. There is also financial abundance indicated here, not just getting by, but actual wealth, security, and the ability to enjoy material comforts without guilt or anxiety. You have worked so hard for so long, and this card says the payoff is coming. But more than money, the Ten of Pentacles is about feeling rich in all the ways that matter. Rich in love, rich in purpose, rich in connections, rich in peace of mind. You are building an empire, Capricorn, but it is an empire of your own design, based on your values, created with integrity. Everything you have been through has prepared you for this. The struggles, the setbacks, the moments when you wanted to give up, they were all part of the foundation. Now you get to enjoy the structure you built. The Seven of Swords comes up, and I need to address this one carefully because it has a bit of a tricky energy. Traditionally, this card is associated with deception, strategy, and getting away with something. In the imagery, a figure is sneaking away from a camp carrying 5 swords while leaving 2 behind. But in the context of your reading about healing and rebirth, I am interpreting this differently. What I am seeing is that this year, you need to be strategic about protecting your energy and your peace. Not everyone deserves access to your healing journey. Not everyone needs to know your business. The 7 of Swords is giving you permission to be selective, to keep some things private, to move in silence when necessary. There is also a message here about leaving behind old strategies that no longer serve you. Maybe you have been approaching life in certain ways, because that is what worked in the past, but those methods are not going to cut it anymore. You need to be willing to try new approaches, to think outside the box, to be a little bit rebellious about how you go about things. I am also getting a warning with this card. As you start to transform and step into your power, there may be people who try to undermine you, who do not want to see you succeed, who might even actively work against you. The 7 of Swords says, be smart, be aware, do not be naive, but also do not become paranoid. Trust your instincts about people. If something feels off, it probably is. You have been through enough to have developed good intuition. Use it. There is also something here about you needing to be a little bit cunning in a positive way. Maybe you need to advocate for yourself at work in a strategic manner, or navigate a difficult relationship with careful diplomacy, or protect your creative ideas until they are fully formed. The 7 of Swords is not about being dishonest. It is about being wise, about understanding that not every battle needs to be fought head-on, that sometimes the smartest move is the subtle one. As you are healing and rebuilding, you are in a vulnerable state. And this card is essentially saying to guard yourself appropriately while remaining open to the good stuff. The 8 of Cups appears. And Capricorn. This is one of the most spiritually significant cards in the deck for someone on a healing journey. It shows a figure walking away from 8 cups, leaving them behind as they head toward mountains in the distance. This is about the courage to walk away from situations, relationships, or versions of yourself that no longer serve your highest good, even when it is hard, even when part of you wants to stay because it is familiar. What I am seeing is that in 2026, you are going to have moments where you need to make the difficult choice to leave something behind. Maybe it is a job that pays well, but drains your soul. Maybe it is a relationship that is comfortable, but keeps you small. Maybe it is old beliefs about yourself that you have held on to for years. The 8 of Cups requires bravery because you are walking away before you know what is coming next. You are leaving the known for the unknown, and that is terrifying. But here is the thing. Those cups the figure is leaving behind, they might look full and valuable, but they represent things that are keeping you stuck in your old story. As long as you keep clinging to what is familiar, you cannot move forward into what is truly meant for you. This card is deeply connected to your spiritual awakening because it represents the moment when you realize that external circumstances, achievements, or relationships cannot fill the void inside you. Only you can do that through inner work and spiritual connection. The mountains in the distance represent higher consciousness, spiritual growth, the journey toward wholeness. This is not an easy path. It is uphill. It requires effort. But it leads somewhere worth going. I am also seeing that the 8 of Cups is about emotional maturity and recognizing when something has run its course. Maybe you have been trying to fix something that cannot be fixed, or save someone who does not want to be saved, or make something work that is fundamentally incompatible with who you are becoming. This year gives you the clarity and the courage to stop forcing it and to trust that by letting go, you are making space for something better. The figure in this card is walking alone, which might feel sad, but there is also freedom in it. You do not need anyone else's permission or approval to change your life. This is your journey, and you get to decide when it is time to move on. The final card is the Queen of Swords. And Capricorn, this is such a powerful note to end on because this queen represents clarity, truth, independence, and the ability to cut through BS with precision and grace. After everything you have been through this year, all the healing and integration and transformation, you emerge as someone who sees clearly, thinks clearly, and communicates clearly. The Queen of Swords has been through pain. In traditional interpretations, she is often depicted as someone who has experienced loss or hardship and has come out stronger and wiser because of it. She does not sugarcoat things. She does not play games. She speaks her truth directly, but not cruelly. She has boundaries that she enforces without guilt. She makes decisions based on logic and wisdom rather than just emotion, but she is not cold or unfeeling. She simply understands that sometimes love means saying no. Sometimes kindness means being honest. Sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do is refuse to enable dysfunction. This is who you are becoming. You are developing a sharp mind and a sharper tongue, not in a mean way, but in a way that cuts through confusion and gets to the heart of matters. People are going to start coming to you for advice because you have this ability to see situations objectively and offer insights that are both truthful and helpful. I am also seeing that the Queen of Swords represents your independence and self-sufficiency. You do not need to rely on anyone else for your sense of identity or worth. You know who you are. You are comfortable being alone because you are good company for yourself. If relationships come into your life, they enhance your experience, but they do not define it. This is incredibly liberating, especially if you have a history of codependency or losing yourself in relationships. The Queen of Swords also has a message about using your intellect and communication skills in your work or creative pursuits. Maybe you are writing, teaching, counseling, speaking, or using words in some way to make an impact. Your mind is one of your greatest assets, and this year, you are learning to trust it and use it effectively. There is also something here about setting boundaries without over-explaining yourself. The Queen of Swords does not justify her decisions to people who are not going to understand anyway. She simply states what is and moves forward. You are learning this art. By the end of 2026, you are going to be someone who knows their worth, speaks their truth, maintains their boundaries, and navigates life with wisdom earned through experience. The wounded soul you were at the beginning of the year has been transformed into a sovereign, powerful, clear-minded individual who is ready to claim their place in the world. So Capricorn, as we wrap this up, I want you to really take in what the cards are saying about your 2026. This is your year of awakening and rebirth. Not because someone is going to save you, or because circumstances are magically going to become perfect, but because you are finally ready to do the deep inner work that transforms pain into power. You are stepping into emotional mastery with the King of Cups, building tangible abundance with the Queen of Pentacles, finding your tribe with the Three of Pentacles, claiming your manifestation abilities with the Magician, discovering balance with Temperance, igniting new passion with the Ace of Wands, creating lasting legacy with the Ten of Pentacles, moving strategically with the Seven of Swords, having the courage to walk away from what does not serve you with the Eight of Cups, and emerging as a sovereign truth-teller with the Queen of Swords. Every single one of these cards points to profound transformation. The wounds you carry are not going to disappear, but they are going to become integrated parts of your story that inform your wisdom, fuel your compassion, and give you credibility when you help others navigate their own darkness. You are not broken, Capricorn. You never were. You were just being broken down to be rebuilt into something stronger, clearer, and more aligned with your true purpose. 2026 is when you start to see the fruits of everything you have survived. Trust the process, be patient with yourself, stay open to the magic, and know that the universe has been preparing you for this moment of awakening all along. I am genuinely excited for what this year holds for you. You have got this.